This is my audience for the speech. Same-sex marriage should be legalized in Texas. In November of 2005, an anti-gay marriage amendment passed in Texas by about 70% statewide. Now by 2011, views have changed worldwide on the issue. Currently, there are 9 American states that allow significant same-sex marriage in the U.S., and 11 countries which allow it. Here I have this map where it shows what states in the U.S. allow same-sex marriage. And you see there's a lot in the Northeast and far west. Additionally, as the world keeps changing, Texas should now shift towards the issue and benefits that come with it. Same-sex marriage should be legalized in Texas because it would allow more freedom to Americans and promotes equality. The commitments made between 2 men or women will provide benefits for the family and also the neighbors. A strong sense of commitment is seen between homosexual marriages, which would allow them to work together as one, reaching the same common goals. Some people argue that homosexual marriage will have a negative effect on those around them for no good reason, when in fact, allowing gays and lesbians to marry someone of their own sex will not discourage heterosexuals from marrying a person of the opposite sex. This can be compared to people who strive to serve in the army. You may be very against war, but having somebody else you have no relationship serve in battle will not directly affect your life. Today, there are at least 8 million children that are currently raised by homosexual parents in the U.S. Though a child being able to have a good person look after them is something to look forward to, the children are disadvantaged by the inability of their parents to have benefits and legal protections that marriages afford. Granting same-sex marriage would only help the cause of giving adopted children a better society to live in. After all, 1/3 of lesbian couples and 1/5 of gay marriage couples have children, which can only imply that changes are being made. So a change in the right direction is soon to come. Although objections to same-sex marriage are found throughout the Bible, the strong opposition of homosexuality is actually coming from a self-favored perception of the literature, along with the bias towards the person's personal views on the subject. Within the Bible, a section is found that could be interpreted as homosexual love. It goes, "I grieve for you, Jonathan, my brother. You are very dear to me. Your love for me was wonderful, more wonderful than that of a woman." Also, if the Christians believe that God created all humankind equal, then it must be accepted that God also created homosexuals. The objections to homosexuality are not only coming straight as it reads from the Bible, but the reader is also tying in customs and traditions, along with the personal discomfort with gay sex that transcends theological arguments. Along with the issue of biblical interpretation, the problem arises that at the heart of homosexuality as a social issue is the belief of most Americans that it is abnormal and morally unacceptable behavior. This is the most common obstacle that is needed to be dealt with, but is also the most difficult to deal with because it involves altering the opinions of someone who strongly believes in their arguments. Granting homosexuality blurs some of the differences, such as the privileges and jobs, the privileges and jobs, and the simple rejection of those homosexualities. Currently, existing laws require religious organizations that receive public funding to extend the same benefits to gay employees as the straight ones. The granting would also recognize the American principles that represent the culmination of the nation's commitment to equal rights. Interracial marriage in the U.S. became legal in 1967. Before then, the blacks and other minority races were discriminated against, so the marriages between them and the whites was sure to be banned. Finally, when people stood up against the hatred, results were seen. The very same situation is a possibility for the homosexuals in Texas. To stand out and be treated as equals would allow more freedom to those citizens as it did with the blacks in the past. In 1967, the court case Loving versus Virginia took place, in which a final analysis recognized marriage as one of the inviolable personal rights to the pursuit of happiness. Allowing the pursuit of happiness through giving rights such as those same-sex marriage should not even be a question. When the point of view over the idea set against same-sex marriage are looked at through another point of view, it can be seen that benefits, the American standard, and religious views can all be crafted towards a more understanding level where the benefits can overcome the negatives that don't have a lot of reasoning behind them. The promotion of equality and allowance of more freedom could be achieved here in Texas by legalizing the marriage between two people of the same sex throughout the state, therefore pleasing and allowing a more liberating society to the white homosexual audience considered as a discriminated minority in the current USA. Thank you. And here's my audience again.
Yes, sir.